the leftover birthday balloon from September still floating around in my car. It's still bringing me joy, so it's fine, right? Absolutely. New Year's Eve resolutions are never something that I've partaken in. I feel like it's really arbitrary and have never placed much value in the turning over the new year. I don't come from a culture where the emphasis extends beyond a party and fireworks. For me, growing up, setting a resolution was setting yourself up to fail. So I've never actually set a New Year's resolution. I know growing up they like made us pick one, but I've never truly set one. And I'm still not going to. I don't feel like it's very genuine, and I don't feel like, for me personally, it's something that I'm going to adhere to. What I have decided to do though is write a list of habits that I am planning to work towards acquiring in 2024. And I'm going to share this with you today, and maybe this will give you some inspiration on how to adjust things in your life or take advantage of the changing spirit that comes with the new year, or maybe setting a goals list or a habits list is a more tangible option for you than setting a hard and fast resolution. Another reason that I want to share the habits I hope to develop in 2024 with you guys is to also share my excuses, so that hopefully with the internet watching, I don't have excuses anymore. Also, they might align with your excuses. It might be nice to see that somebody else has the same excuses and they're trying to overcome too. Drinking 60 ounces of water a day. This is a really hard one for me. I go in phases. My body does best with 100 to 120 ounces of water in a day, but when I fall off of the water bandwagon, I fall hard and fast. So I am currently probably drinking 20 to 40 ounces of water a day. My goal is to set a consistent habit of 60 ounces of water a day and not let myself fall off of that. Hydration is important, folks, and I will be the first to tell everybody else that they're not drinking enough water. But do I listen to my own advice? No, never. Another habit that I want to develop in 2024 is going on a walk once a week. I don't enjoy just walking for the sake of walking. It's not fun. It's really boring. That might be some undiagnosed ADHD showing, because there's just not a lot to do besides just a walk, and it doesn't feel stimulating to me at all, but I know it's good for you. So my goal is to try to walk once a week. Not a lot, but it's better than what I've been doing, which is none. My excuses on this one are weather, are energy, or time. I like to keep myself busy or doing nothing. Like, it's all or nothing. So if I'm letting myself do nothing, it means I'm just sitting and probably binge watching something. I'm also a big baby when it comes to the weather, and if things don't go exactly as planned, I tend to just stray away from them. So if I plan to go for a walk on Sunday and the weather doesn't cooperate, that means I'll probably just skip it. I need to make my goal not be super rigid. So my goal isn't to walk every Sunday. My goal is to walk once in a 7-day period. So it's flexible on when within that time frame it can happen. And if I set it up like this and make that the habit that I want to form, I am more likely to be able to do it. Gaining consistency on my morning and night skincare routines. I've actually been doing pretty well with this the last couple months, but again, it ebbs and flows. Usually mornings are harder for me because mornings are not my friend, and so usually I'll skip in the morning and do pretty good at night, but there are still some nights that I don't do well. My excuses are that I allow myself to enjoy other activities until I am too tired. I'll stay up and watch TV, or I'll be working on content creation, or hanging out with my dog, or whatever it is after I get off of work, to where it's 10:30, 11, and I'm like, I just want to go to sleep. At this point, it's bedtime. The way that I need to develop this habit is that as soon as I am done with content creation or home for the day and not going to be filming is when I need to do my skincare routine. So I need to build it into my daily habit earlier in the evening so that it's not the last thing I do before I go to bed, so that I make sure it gets done every time. For mornings, my excuse is just time. My morning skincare routine doesn't contain a whole lot, but it is also the easiest for me to skip because I don't have to take off makeup, or my face is already clean. I don't have to do that, and my face usually feels pretty moisturized from my night skincare routine, so I don't usually have to do that. So I guess my excuse is no internal pressure for myself to make it a priority. So that means that I need to be waking up with enough time to actually prioritize doing the bare minimum, which is going to be moisturizer and sunscreen. Sunscreen, sunscreen, sunscreen. I am 31 and I need to not look 31. I need to continue not looking 31, and sunscreen is a really good way to prevent aging of your skin. Those are the two things that are kind of my non-negotiables for the mornings. I'm nervous about this one. Another habit that I want to form in 2024 is to read for 15 minutes a day. I actually was a reader growing up. I read all the time. And then I got put into I put myself into a lot of AP classes. I can't blame anybody but myself. I was forced to read for all of those classes a lot. So I am still dealing with high school reading burnout. That was 12 years ago. So my excuse is that I read too much in high school. But at this point in time in my life, I will go through phases, but I have a really hard time focusing on it. And I have a hard time sitting down and quieting my mind for long enough to enjoy or even focus on reading. So there's a couple layers of excuses there. I think the more prevalent one is probably I let myself be so overstimulated and go. And my brain is constantly racing that I'm not in the moment enough. The intention is that with reading 15 minutes a day, it's not a long time. I'll probably set a timer, and if I go for longer, then great. But if not, at least I've sat and focused on something that is very quiet-minded for 15 minutes in the day. Pseudo meditation. 2024, I want to be more mindful with putting money into savings. 2023 was a not financially great year for me as far as my personal financial management. I spent 2 or 3 years really hardcore working on my financial health and made some great success, and then I stopped budgeting and being on top of it and made some poor choices this year. In 2024, on Mondays and Thursdays, I am going to look at my bank account, and whatever the change amount is, I'm going to transfer $1 and the change to savings. It's going to average about $3 a week that I am transferring over to savings, which is not a lot. It's not a lot, but that's just one layer of financial planning for me. I also have investment accounts and retirement accounts and other things like that I contribute to, but it's just a little way to kind of pad your savings account, and it will add up over time. So it's something to just kind of think about. Another variation of this is you could do it every time you make a purchase. Just put the change into savings, or at the end of a day once your account balance updates. So maybe like each morning you could do it, but I'm committing to doing it Monday and Thursday. And then I'm also committing to transferring money into my savings account the day I get paid, every time I get paid. So that's going to kind of fluctuate, especially since I just switched jobs. I don't really know how much that's going to be right now. In the last year, I've been really bad about putting it off and not doing it when I get paid and then not coming back to it later. I did have an emergency where I needed to use a lot of my savings account this year too. I need to work on rebuilding that. It's going to be a priority, and it's going to be something that I do the day I get paid. Physical health habits, consistency with my supplements. I have to take a thyroid medication first thing in the morning, an hour before I eat. I usually eat on my way to work or as like one of my first activities at work. My excuses for not taking my supplements is they can't be taken with my other medication, and I have to take them with food. I had my tonsils removed when I was 18, and I have issues swallowing pills now, and so I have to eat after taking like the giant supplement pills because they're just too big, and so I have to eat to kind of help things move and get into my tummy where they belong. Oh, my other excuse is at home, my schedule on my days off is really kind of all over the place. So I did get it cleared with my primary care provider that basically taking the supplements 4 days a week when I'm at work would be great. And if I'm able to do more, like if I think about it on other days, then that's fabulous too. Oh, another excuse that I have is that a couple of them can't be taken too late in the day, otherwise they keep me up too. There's a very finite window of time they can be taken, and I don't push through and plan accordingly to fix those errors. So this year, 2024, I need to be better with my supplements because vitamin D is important as a very, very pale person in the Pacific Northwest. This is most of the year. There's no sun. I mean, it's there, kind of, but it's clouds. That's all we get. I'm recommitting to my budget. I am planning on putting out a video on how I do my budgeting because I feel like it is super straightforward, really easy to prioritize bills and work towards building a savings account and reducing your debt. Not a financial person though, so like it's not expert advice. It's just a system that works really well for me. The commitment that I'm making is to commit to doing a budget every paycheck and then also looking at my 6-month long-term health goals. I did do really great with my financial planning and budgeting for 2020, 2021, and 2022. It's really just this last year that I have not made it a priority or focus. I don't really have any excuses. I just didn't. I might have gotten overconfident where I was at because my finances were not terribly variable over the last 3 years. So I kind of just paid my bills and then split things up as I did, but didn't look at the long term. I don't know. I can't really pinpoint an excuse, but for 2024, 2024, I'm going to make sure that I'm doing it for every single paycheck, and that means having it pre-planned out for about 6 months so that I can look at my debt consolidation and getting everything paid down. I would absolutely love if you would share in the comments down below a couple habits that you'd like to build next year as well. For example, a habit you might want to build would be showing more respect towards your partner or spouse. And you know, for a lot of us, we might be being really disrespectful and not even know it. Go ahead and watch this video next for 5 ways that you might be disrespecting your partner that you weren't aware of for more housewife self-growth.